Assistant Director, you didn't think anything was wrong with this report or complaint by these three people, that the story included that they got there, the three of them, which is Mr. Nku, Mr. Mahano, Warrant Officer Mahano, and Chief Mashaba. They got there, opened the container, and then unpacked, took the drugs onto Warrant Officer Mahano's van. When there's no LCRC, there's no dog, there's nothing at that point. It's just the three of them with Mr. Nku that you say you did think something was dodgy about him. You didn't think something about this story is problematic.
Not the story per se, but what happened in terms of handling the crime scene was wrong for them to take those bags and load them in the buggy.
And you didn't think that could reasonably find a basis for the other officers to think they are up to mischief? If you want to reduce it to handling of the crime scene, I think in the end we do find out that it was actually much more than just mishandling a crime scene. But we're talking about you. You receive a complaint. They tell you that they followed this truck. It parked. Mahano backs up his van. They instruct the employees of that place to put the drugs onto Mr. Mahano's, onto Warrant Officer Mahano's buggy. There's no LCRC. They're not calling any. There's no one else. Just the three of them. You're saying you didn't think something does not seem right here. Maybe I need to interrogate this complaint further. Because to me, I'm not an IPD officer. I'm not a police officer. But it seems obviously deeply suspicious that police officers would come in an unmarked van and then transfer drugs from a container when you know there are protocols about crime scene management. You're saying you didn't think this warranted you to keep an inquiring mind about this.
Commissioner, we did ask about that, but he indicated, it's just that I don't remember whether it was Mahano who called the LCRC.
No, he did
person.
not. No, he did not. So we know from his evidence that he did not. He did not call the LCRC. He had nothing to do. Mahano had nothing to do with calling the LCRC. In fact, his evidence is he knows nothing about drugs and crimes. The management of a drug bust scene.
Yes, that one indeed, from what happened at the crime scene, you can tell that he had no knowledge of managing the crime scene. But from what we have, the LCRC person was called. The only challenge was that they've already contaminated the scene by taking their drugs from the container into the buggy. But when we asked them about that, they indicated that they were waiting for the LCRC person to come and take pictures and package their drugs.
I must say that I'm surprised that you didn't think that that kind of conduct is sufficiently suspicious to have you inquire further. I know nothing about this stuff, but I must say that the first time I heard that's what happened, it made me ask the question, why would he do that? He knows the protocols, and that's why we engaged him on, do you know anything about crime scene management that involves drug busts? And he told us, I've never done this before. My job doesn't involve this. So I ask you in that context that I would have thought you would know more than I had the first time here to have an inquiring mind about what in fact was going on here. Let me find out before I make conclusions that there was a defeating the ends of justice case here. But I've heard what you say.
Okay, Commissioner.
And what, if anything, did you make of the fact that they had already loaded these bags onto Warrant Officer Makhana's van?
We ask about
They
the.
take them, they handle them, there are hands all over them, there are fingerprints all over them.